Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning. Even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
I agree.
And it's
sad because it's not the Democrats we grew up with.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the difference that people don't, I think, see. They're like, why did you turn on the Democrats? Well, first of all, I didn't. Like I said, we voted for the same person. But I'm not going to pretend I don't notice how different they are.
Yeah.
How mean they've become.
Yeah, he listened.
Yeah. I think he actually wants more people around him for stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at, and mentioned it again, they hated me for it, that as opposed to so many important people I've met who, when you talk to them, you don't feel like they're really listening. They're kind of like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And then when they answer you, it doesn't quite track, you know?
You're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yes.
Bill Maher and Cheryl Hines teamed up to take the Democrats to task, and the outcome was surprisingly funny. The two former loyalists laid out how the party has unraveled in recent years. As Donald Trump's support has climbed, they explained why they've become frustrated with a party that once inspired them, but now feels unfamiliar. So let's break it down.
Again, one good thing about Trump, he really, really does not like war.
Which I love that about him.
I kind of do, because I don't want war either, and most of them are unnecessary.
Agreed.
I mean, he took a long time when I had that dinner with him talking about the pictures he sees coming from Ukraine, the stuff that doesn't get out on the news. It's like raw footage of bodies in the field.
Yes.
And you could tell it really moved him.
It's
like, I do not want to see this, and I'm the kind of guy who can fix this.
It's honestly intriguing to see Cheryl Hines and Bill Maher openly admit there's actually something they respect about Donald Trump. For two people who once represented relentless, unfiltered Trump criticism, especially Maher, this shift stands out. For years, his commentary delivered nonstop shots at Trump and the GOP. But now, this more thoughtful version of Maher has flipped that routine, attracting unexpected new fans while frustrating some longtime supporters. Even many Democrats seem unsure how to interpret it. Some think Maher is simply fed up with the party's contradictions, while others claim he softened or got impressed after that much talked about dinner he shared with Trump. Whatever the truth is, the shift is real, and it's creating more buzz than anything he said back when his commentary followed the same old partisan script.
You know, he's never not going to be Trump. So, of course, he's like, I saw 9 wars. And, you know, okay, even if it's half that, it's still good that we're solving them and not starting them.
That's the thing that I find that I really like about President Trump when he talks about wars and talks about Ukraine. And he talks about Ukraine and Russia, and he will say they're losing people on both sides.
Donald Trump has consistently emphasized that he wants to keep America out of endless foreign wars, and he's repeatedly stated that ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict is one of his top priorities. Whether people support his strategy or not, his approach is undeniably shifting the global political landscape. Trump has long insisted that he can bring this war to a close. And as Bill Maher pointed out, his method stands in stark contrast to President Biden's. That alone signals a major shift in momentum. Even critics admit that it's hard to overlook one key fact. This development aligns with the outcome Biden spent years promising, but ultimately failed to achieve. While Biden pushed for diplomatic solutions that never fully materialized, Trump's aggressive, unconventional pressure tactics appear to be moving things in an entirely new direction. And if this continues, it could become one of Trump's biggest political wins, with serious international consequences and massive election year implications.
What somebody was just asking me about when I met him, what surprised me the most, and I said I was surprised that he really likes to listen to people. He's very curious in what you have to say.
They hated when I said that. Again, because I'm just telling you what happened. What, should I lie?
I guess so. I guess
Right.
that's
He
what they
kicked
want.
me in the balls
Yeah.
under the table. And then
Like I knew he would.
He threw the spaghetti against the wall
Yeah.
when I raised the subject of tariffs. No. No.
You can almost feel the outrage boiling among certain Democrats after Bill Maher's latest remarks about Donald Trump. For years, Maher was expected to stick to the same predictable script, criticize Trump nonstop, and echo the party line. But the moment he simply acknowledged that Trump can actually be likable, polite, and surprisingly pleasant in person, everything flipped. Cheryl Hines confirmed that same experience herself, and her perspective only reinforces what many people never wanted to admit. The expectation was simple. Maher would meet Trump, come back with fresh insults, and double down on the usual outrage. Instead, he returned with nuance, and that alone sent some of his own supporters into a tailspin. What this reaction really reveals is the mindset of a certain group of people. They don't dislike Trump because they've met him or formed their own opinions. They dislike him because they were told to. And Maher just broke that narrative. He didn't follow the script. He listened.
Yeah, he
But
listened.
Yeah. I think he actually wants more people around him for a stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at, and mentioned it again, they hated me for it, that as opposed to so many important people I've met who, when you talk to them, you don't feel like they're really listening. They're kind of like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And then when they answer you, it doesn't quite track,
Uh-huh.
you know?
You're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yes.
This moment is both hilarious and strangely revealing. Everyone knows politicians walk into interviews loaded with memorized talking points, polished lines, and a narrative they refuse to let go of. Half the time, it feels like they're reading from a script floating right above the camera. And whenever an interviewer tries to throw them off with a tough or unexpected question, nothing changes. They cling to their rehearsed answers like robots, repeating the same lines even when their response has nothing to do with what was just asked. It creates those painfully awkward moments where you can literally see the mismatch happening in real time. An interviewer asks something direct and clear, and the politician fires back with a completely unrelated answer that just sticks to the message. That's exactly why this moment hits different. It shows how deeply conditioned so many politicians are, and how refreshing it is when someone finally steps outside the script.
Or they're just on a just different level. I mean,
Yeah.
these are show people too. I've had that. But I didn't get that with him at all.
No.
I got a guy who looked in my eye,
Yes.
was listening to what I said, waited until I finished, even when it was contradictory, when it was he never got blustery or mad about it. You know, he said some things that I don't agree with and some things that I think are just, you know, plainly not right, like, you know, third term. Yeah, I think you could do it. I'm having people look into it. No, you can't do it. and you can have people look into it from now until the end of time. It's like 12 words in the Constitution. You can't do it.
This also explains why Kamala Harris so often gave wide, polished answers instead of real specifics. Even when a question clearly called for detail, she drifted into those now famous word salads. Long, flowing sentences that sounded official but didn't actually say much. Watching her interviews, it often felt like she wasn't really responding to the moment. Instead, she seemed locked onto her rehearsed talking points, even when they didn't fit the question in front of her. That constant return to scripted lines created a sense of distance, almost like she was waiting for a safer question so she could slide back into her comfort zone. And when politicians operate that way, protecting the script instead of engaging honestly, it becomes painfully noticeable. Harris's interviews ended up showing exactly how over-rehearsed answers can leave viewers confused, unconvinced, and completely disconnected.
But he didn't get mad.
Right.
And then I also made the point that, you know, I went home that night and I was getting into bed in 60 Minutes. I taped it. And there he is on 60 Minutes and he's like ranting and raving. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
This is not the guy I met.
Yeah.
And so I'm just the reporter here. I'm just telling you.
This
you
was
know,
my experience.
Let's be clear. These aren't random viewers or neutral analysts. These are lifelong, committed Democrats who suddenly have something positive to say about their biggest political enemy, Donald Trump. And that alone is enough to spark panic in certain circles of the left. For years, the rule has been simple. Democrats must stay united in their dislike of Trump. No nuance, no flexibility, no independent thinking allowed. So when voices like Bill Maher and Cheryl Hines step outside that script and admit that Trump has moments worth acknowledging, it sets off a wave of outrage among some Democrats and media allies. It breaks the narrative they've spent years reinforcing. They don't want anyone on their side showing even a hint of appreciation toward Trump. To them, the idea that a Democrat could see anything positive, even for a second, feels like betrayal. And that's why this moment is so revealing. It shows just how rigid and emotionally charged the political expectations have become.
Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning. Even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
I agree.
And
it's sad because it's not the Democrats we grew up with.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the difference that people don't, I think, see. They're like, why did you turn on the Democrats? Well, first of all, I didn't. Like I said, we voted for the same person. But I'm not going to pretend I don't notice how different they are.
Yeah.
How mean they've become.
For years, Republicans were portrayed as the harsh ones, the tough, unforgiving side of American politics. But now, Bill Maher and Cheryl Hines are flipping that script, drawing from their own experiences to show a different reality. It's becoming hard to ignore that the Democratic Party can be just as harsh and, at times, even harsher, especially toward anyone who steps outside the approved line of thinking. The moment you voice an opinion that doesn't match the script, they don't just argue with you. They go after you. They label you, attack you, and in many cases, try to cancel you altogether. The message couldn't be clearer. Agree with us completely or deal with the backlash. Maher and Hines calling this out matters because it shines a light on something many people have felt but rarely say. The Democrats aren't always the compassionate side. They can be brutally ruthless too.
Democrats have been having a lot of donor retreats lately where liberal strategists hold ideathons, where they try to figure out why they keep losing elections. You know, apart from using words like ideathon. And now one idea that's getting a lot of attention is the Dems need to find their Joe Rogan, a liberal Joe Rogan, because that's why Kamala lost. Republicans have a podcast.
Well, that's true. But the Democrats don't just need their own version of Joe Rogan. They also desperately need their own version of Donald Trump. Someone genuine, bluntly honest, unafraid to speak clearly, and bold enough to stand up to the growing woke crowd. They need a figure willing to push back against the party's drift towards socialist ideas without hesitation. What the Democrats are missing right now is a leader with real backbone. Someone who can take criticism, admit their flaws, and refuse to be shaped by every new ideological trend. They need voices who aren't scared of upsetting Twitter, who won't hide behind scripted talking points, and who can inspire confidence simply by being authentic. Maher's point is straightforward. The party doesn't just need new faces. It needs strong, grounded personalities willing to challenge their own side when needed. Only then will they earn back credibility.
Or you could consider this. Instead of conjuring up a new Joe Rogan, ask yourself why you lost the old one. Because he used to be on your side. He smokes pot on the air. I don't think he's that much of a far-right ideologue. I don't think his mind is completely inflexible. His neck, yes. But not his mind. And he's expressed unease with some things Trump is doing, as has a certain disgruntled former employee named Elon Musk, who, like Joe, is another guy who 5 years ago was thought of as a liberal, but got driven into the other camp by bad attitudes and bad ideas.
And this is the same flawed thinking that's pushing people like Cheryl Hines and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. away from the liberal fold. More and more Democrats say they feel out of step with the direction of their own party. Not because of one issue, but because the overall tone, priorities and ideology no longer connect, or worse, feel completely misguided. There's a growing belief that the party has drifted from reality, chasing ideological purity instead of real-world solutions, and punishing anyone who dares to question the script. But even with people walking away, there's little sign the party wants to reflect or adjust. Change is resisted, either out of stubbornness or fear of losing control, leaving longtime supporters feeling frustrated and ignored. That unwillingness to evolve or own mistakes is exactly what drives thoughtful, capable voices out the door, and it should be a major warning sign. If the party refuses to adapt, more allies will start looking for alternatives. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.